Have you ever wondered how many rocks you'd break in just one 18-minute round of Fortnite? What's the maximum? I bet the number in your head is skyrocketing, but if you tried, you'd probably only break 50. The reason why is way more complicated than you'd expect, because not only are rocks hard to break, but they're also extremely scattered. So clearly, the key wasn't brute force, it was strategy. What could I do to maximize rock destruction? Perfecting this challenge starts with unveiling a precise route, and it all started here at this mountain. See, not only does this mountain provide 17 rocks alone, but it also grants me mobility items, weapons, and healables, all necessary for the middle game and end game. Not only are rocks abundant on this mountain, but it's also plentiful near bodies of water. For this map, that includes this river and the outskirts shores. And just like that, during my first attempt, I broke exactly 100 rocks with this route. Surely, this plan would maximize rock destruction, right? Nope. Mistakes were made. Firstly, I wasn't foreseeing the future of the game. Sure, the river was rocky, but it was almost always in the final circle anyways, meaning I was wasting early game time on rocks that would be available later. So I scrapped the river entirely and focused solely on breaking down the shores, running along the entire southern border until Reload could kill me and send me to the end game. And let's just say my rock count increased by 25%. This new route was a success, transforming variability into precision. But again, I wasn't satisfied. In fact, I yearned to destroy 150 rocks instead. But how? In theory, I'd have to correct every single flaw. Everything needed to change if I wanted to confirm the absolute maximum. 150? 160? Even more perhaps? Well, the early game didn't really change. I still landed at this mountain, chipping all 17 rocks and gathering the fundamentals, mobility, weapons, and materials? Yeah, materials. I needed more, because not only was it useful in breaking the smaller rocks in an instant, but also optimal for leaps, especially after using these steroids. That was one of many changes I made, but the biggest change was running along the northern borders of the island rather than the southern. There were simply more rocks out there, so I stuck to this shore instead, sprinting, breaking, and then sprinting, breaking, and then again and again, and by the time I crossed this long beach, I was already at 30 rocks. Everything was going great, except for my brain. With the stress of making each second count, I often overlooked efficiency for speed. On one hand, I was so fixated on speed that I missed easy rocks. And on the other hand, I lost precious time, like using this unnecessary medkit or grappling carelessly. So yeah, I was losing out on a lot of opportunities, but it's okay, because less than a minute later, I found a llama, blessing me with enough resources to maximize any leftover time in a storm. 89 rocks already chipped down, the reload timer not even in session yet, and in fact I was only halfway through this game. How many more rocks were possible? To find out, I spammed every possible mobility item while I could. 90, 91, 92, 93. 1 minute and 30 seconds left. 94, 95, 96, 97, 98. Here comes the last medkit. 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105. Shockwave. You know, it's really nice being good at Fortnite. I mean, my editing speed just takes full responsibility for the pacing right here. Absolutely amazing. And with just 15 seconds left, you'd think it's time to eliminate myself. Wrong. While sliding down, I already formulated a plan. Break these rocks, build up, and eliminate myself before the timer. What's really remarkable was his Mission Impossible play, breaking one final rock upon death. That was sick. And if you thought that storm run was intense, you're not ready for the end game. Oh, and before I continue, if you enjoy what you're seeing, make sure you subscribe. I do ridiculous challenges like this all the time, and trust me, this ending is about to get crazy. Anyways, back to the video. The circle was pulling towards Lone Lodge. Truly a relief. Why was this a relief? Because previously in the storm, I utterly prioritized smaller over bigger rocks at Lone Lodge, so this endgame wouldn't be rockless. Anyways, I freely bounced around, having plenty of rocks left to break. I only had 10 more rocks left until I'd beat my average PR of 125. This number was gonna be high, very high. The storm narrowed, and with no more rocks in sight, I was forced to build up and scavenge on any remaining rocks. I beat 125 rocks. I still had 4 minutes until the game was over, so how many more could I chip down? I pulled out my heavy AR in search of this answer. Now this was annoying because apparently rocks weren't breaking? Oh wait, they were. It was just some stupid visual glitch, wasting time and resources. That sucked, but at least I had Lone Lodge, not only congested with trees, but also rocks. Luckily, this tower was an available option to save resources and maintain pace, so I leaped right to it and continued onwards. A whopping 140 rocks down. This This was a record. Now you see why the endgame is 10 times more stressful? It feels like pure luck. Either you'll find a rock or not. I shot, and at 148 rocks, I couldn't see another rock. So I grappled down to a local level. Just 2 more rocks left. Time ticked, and the storm was ready for me. I popped one final medkit, prayed to the Fortnite gods, please, and ran in. 10 seconds remaining. Where's the rocks? Where's the rocks? Yeah, never mind, I failed. But 148 isn't the maximum. You might have noticed how many rocks I missed. These 2, this one, 2 here as well. These 2, and theoretically, at least 1 more rock if I search in a different direction at the end. Add it all up, and it equates to 158. Easily, the maximum is 160, maybe even more. But we might have to ask ChatGPT for that type of human perfection and rock awareness. If you haven't seen my deforestation challenge, it's just as wild. Check it out right now and consider subscribing to the most unique Fortnite YouTube channel out there. Thanks for watching. This was just a crazy video, and peace out.